Change Lives for Good with your host, Greg Kepferle.
Finding a job. It's hard to do. Even in today's economy that's starting to boom with a high-tech industry in full swing and a recovery well underway. Yet, there are still people in our valley that are struggling to find work, to make ends meet. And there are many barriers to finding work. And that's why we have Catholic Charities Focus for Work helping us. Hello, my name is Greg Kepferle. I'm CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County, and welcome to Change Lives for Good. Today we're talking about employment, and specifically about a program at Catholic Charities called Focus for Work. And with me today are Eila Latif, Director of Focus for Work. Welcome, Eila.
Hello, Greg.
Glad you're here. And also Bobbie Jean Rancourt. Welcome, Bobbie.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start with you, Eila, and as Director of Focus for Work, tell us, what does Focus for Work do?
Greg, Focus for Work helps a lot of individuals who have a diagnosis of mental illness get back to the community as working individuals, as part of the community, productive, returning to the community as taxpayers and as partners in the community, as well as part of the workforce.
So as you help people find work to get back into the community, what are the types of things that Focus for Work does that will help people do that?
So what Focus for Work does is help with a lot of times when folks haven't been in the workforce for a long time, they need help with interviewing skills, with resume writing, really access to the employers, and developing and just polishing those skills again. But because a lot of folks that come to us, they already have experience, they have some education, and they're refocusing getting into the workforce as looking for employment. So we help with that. We help provide support with job search. And once somebody has been hired and has heard you are hired, we provide help with staying on the job. It might be just talking out any problems that they might see, or any issues or any stress that they might feel, to see that they are successful in their job.
Right. So I think of those three words. You are hired. There's got to be some of the best words somebody that's looking for work has heard in a long time, and it's you and your staff that are doing just amazing work, and you've been doing this. Catholic Charities has been doing employment services for over 30 years, and with Focus for Work, what's your success? How many people have you helped in the time of Focus for Work?
So for 30 years, we have helped with employment services, with interview skills, and all that you need to know to get that job. Mm-hmm. For over 6,000 individuals have come through Focus for Work, and we have placed over 3,000 folks in any kind of job that you can imagine, Greg, in Silicon Valley, from retail to the service industry, hospitality, high tech, you name it. Focus for Work Catholic Charities graduates are there.
Right, and I think people may have a misperception that if you have a nonprofit doing job development or job placement work, it has to be just at a minimum wage job, but that's not true at all.
Absolutely not. Right now, our average wage earners is close to $12, $11 to $12. So we have the whole spectrum. We do have entry-level folks who are just getting back into working, and then we have folks who have a lot of experience, who have been dealing with mental illness, but are now getting back to work again. And some folks, when they have made the right job match, they stay on their job for years and years, just like you and me.
Right. So, but doing all of this work can't be easy. I mean, there's got to be a lot of challenges, both for the people coming to us for help finding work, as well as for your staff connecting with employers and dealing with the issue of mental health and the issue of stigma and trying to reduce that stigma.
There are a lot of challenges. One of the biggest challenges is really access to the employers and to employment. recently, in the last few years, all applications are online. So sometimes it's very hard for the job seeker to actually get an opportunity to get online to find those jobs. And then, of course, there's the stigma. I don't know if you know, 1 out of 5 individuals deal with mental illness, whether it's in the workforce or whether it's within the home or themselves. So that is a huge challenge for individuals seeking for work, and especially dealing with a disability.
But at the same time, you've got tremendous resources to help people. So in addition to all the job development and the job coaching, it sounds like there are also some wraparound services that you have available.
There's wraparound through Catholic Charities with the mental health services. The staff are absolutely amazing, using all kinds of resources, from job incentives that are government incentives for employers and tax incentives, but the dedication and commitment of the staff to just search down every job lead that's possible to find that right match to really make it successful.
So it sounds like they're relentless in finding those leads.
They're absolutely relentless, and they'll use any possible way, whether it's family contacts, online searches, hitting the pavement to actually meet employers to find the right match for the individual looking for a job.
But it's not just our staff doing this. It's really the clients that are coming to us
Absolutely.
that are doing the I call it the heavy lifting, and it's got to be a partnership, right?
Absolutely. Once the folks have come to our folks, we see such a high motivation and a determination to find that job. And work is very therapeutic, and it's very much a part of the recovery for mental health. Work gives identity. It gives social identity, it gives a personal identity, it gives a structural activity to our day. So it's very part of our daily life. So individuals who are going towards recovery, work is almost foremost in reaching that goal, in being able to help their families with a paycheck, but also for their own identity.
That's so powerful. And as we work to reduce poverty and create more economic opportunity, it's not just about the dollar. It's not just about the paycheck. That's important to help families make ends meet, but it's also about the dignity of their lives.
Dignity of lives, as well as work is very therapeutic. So once we have seen, and we see this day after day, the miracle happens every day. When folks come in, they are discouraged. They are not sure how they're going to find work or what kind of work they'll find. But once they're equipped with the skills of interviewing and they have a little bit more confidence with that they can do it, we see a whole different person once they've found a job. They're holding their heads up high. They are now part of the community. They don't feel out and standing on the sidelines, but they are part of the workforce that we all want to be. And with the paycheck, they're also strengthening their families.
Right, and not only strengthening their families, it's strengthening the entire community and the economy, because it's such a terrible waste when we have people who are willing to work, who want to work, who are struggling to find jobs, don't have that opportunity. And it's such a blessing to our economy when we have people who are skilled, ready to work, and focused on work, contributing to make this valley the incredible valley that it is.
And the talents. So many talented folks that can really be an asset to the businesses and employers.
Right, so when you talk about employers, tell me a little bit about more about those employers and how you work with them, and what's the value to an employer for an employee coming through Catholic Charities? So
the folks that we are serving, individuals that we are serving, we have a very good understanding of what their job goal is, what they want to do, what their experience is, and that they are reliable employees. They're very dedicated. They really want to work. So the biggest thing that the job wants, the job employers want, is the right candidate, because for them It's lost money if their position is not filled. So if we can do that job match, it's a win-win situation for everybody, the employer, the individual looking for work, and as well as the community.
So actually, Focus for Work sounds like a great deal for the employer because they're getting a free a job search, almost like a free HR person, recruiter, being able to give them the employees with the right set of skills.
No cost support for their employees.
Right.
That is absolutely right.
That's a terrific value add.
Right,
for the
and we
employers.
provide that support on-site, off-site. Sometimes individuals have not disclosed because of the stigma of mental health that they have a mental health diagnosis. So we provide off-screen, off-site support, maybe telephone call, just to see how their day went, or if they want a problem that they want to discuss, to see how to deal with the peer or other issues that come up at work, so that they stay on the job and are successful.
Yeah, no, that's terrific. You know, one of the things I think about with Catholic Charities Employment Services, it's not just around Focus for Work with people with mental health issues. We also do employment for refugees. We're now doing a new program around reentry.
That's right.
Is my understanding as well. But all of the people we're working with have some sort of barrier, but they also have tremendous resources and tremendous motivation just to walk through our doors.
Right. We want to thank the businesses over the years that have opened up their doors and given opportunities to our clients. You know, it is not just the right thing to do, it's also the law. So American with Disabilities Act, which was signed in July of '96, is really to protect folks who have a disability so that they are protected at the workplace and they are not stereotyped, but are able to really be shoulder to shoulder with their peers in doing whatever job that they're going for.
That's terrific. So I want to ask you, what motivates you in this tremendous work that you're doing? I mean, you obviously have a great passion and great skill working in the employment and the mental health field for years. What is it that keeps you going?
I truly believe that work is a very therapeutic part of recovery. I also believe there's a niche for anybody who wants to work. And most of all, I see the miracles happening every day, and the miracle workers, that's the staff that really are dedicated, committed, and really want to see success happen every day. And that's what they work for. And I'm there to help both the staff do their jobs and the individuals that come to us for help be successful.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So you've got miracle workers in the staff, and you've got miracle workers in the clients that come to us.
Right.
And we're going to hear in a little bit from Bobbie Jean, who has an amazing story to tell us about her own journey focusing on work. This is Greg Kepferle. Welcome to Change Lives So Good, and we'll be back in a moment. Thank you.
Focus for Work. Catholic Charities has been providing employment services for over 30 years to individuals with mental health diagnosis, refugees, and most recently for the re-entry population. When it comes to results, the Focus for Work program has helped 7,000 individuals receive employment services. 3,000 people have been employed in competitive markets, and 23,000 families and adults with mental health issues have been provided with services, all with an average wage of $11 to $12 per hour. Did you know that 1 in 5 American adults experience mental health issues? That 1 in 20 Americans live with serious mental illness? Focus for Work provides these people with employment opportunities that empower people with disabilities to achieve greater independence and the chance to fully participate in and contribute to our society. like Charities works to end poverty by helping families and individuals get the tools they need to become more self-reliant. It offers a hand up rather than a handout through a wide range of services and serves more than 41,000 people each year of all cultures and beliefs.
Welcome back to Change Lives for Good. I'm your host, Greg Kepferle, CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County. And with me are Eila Latif, Director of Focus for Work, our employment program, and Bobbie Jean Rancourt. Welcome, Bobbie Jean. Glad you're here. And we talked about the miracles of Focus for Work and how the staff are a miracle. Also, the people who come through our doors are miracles. And I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your journey that you experienced coming to Catholic Charities and what's happened since then. So how did you come to Catholic Charities?
I had been employed for about 2.5 years, and my father suddenly passed away on us, and I knew my family needed help. I needed to get back as soon as possible. I went to the state of California for help because I am a single mother, and a representative from Catholic Charities walked out and said, "Does anybody have any mental health issues?" I have a child that does, and based on that, it does help me get into the program, and I have my own issues. So I was able to walk in, and they asked me if I would come down to Catholic Charities. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I went down to Catholic Charities. I had needed help, and it was the first time I was willing to ask for help. And at that point, every door opened at that point. They had Focus for Work. They have so many different counselors available, the job coaches. It was just amazing what was available.
Wow, that's terrific. So what did staff do for you and with you, and then how long did it take you to find a job? And how did all that happen?
When we started out, we start off with a class. You take your class, it does resume building, which was something I had never done before. Typically, I had been found in the community and went to work. They made sure that I used a lot of green words in those resumes to make sure I
That's a great that's a great phrase. So when you say a green word, what does that mean?
It's basically when you highlight yourself. You want to look for words that are more positive than negative, so that when you're out in the workforce, you're using those words and you focus on that of what your skills are instead of not knowing what to say. And then they gave us interview skills that were just amazing, because I had never had to sit in a one-on-one interview. And this was, they tape you, they make you learn until you're ready to be right there in front of somebody getting a job.
Right, yeah. And so then once they did that, and you started looking for work, and the job developers started helping you, and then what happened?
So I began looking for work. At first, everyone feels a little discouraged. You don't see an answer right away. Everything's done on the internet mainly. It takes a lot of work to do an online application. So I was a little discouraged, but I always believe in Rome wasn't built in a day. So I sticked with my coach. My job coach, Percy, is amazing. And I still use him to this day, 1.5 years later. And I began looking for work. I got no responses, so I just kept going. We have community meetings. I showed up 3 times a week. And all of a sudden I saw this job fair. And I was kind of reluctant. Do I want to go into a job fair? I walked into the job fair, and within a half an hour, I was told, "Can you make it to an interview?" And I said, "Yes." And I walked into that interview, and 2 hours later, I got a call for the job that I now work for.
Wonderful. That's terrific. So what do you do now?
I work for Celestica. I am a quality inspector of manufactured parts. Mm-hmm. So it's really a neat job. It's a lot of learning on my half. They give great training. So I run a visual CMM is what I do.
So that's terrific, and good for Celestica and good for you. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That's wonderful. You told me a little bit earlier as we were talking, a little bit more of your story with your family. So it's not just that you got this job. There's more to the story.
Oh yes. They also had another individual that had gone through their program who, her mother actually is my caregiver for my daughter. And she had went to the program right before I did. And she got hired for her job right before I had gotten my job. She still works for her job. She's just as big a success story as I am. She's amazing. And she's still working and going to school. And through all this, they had a passing in their family. And I knew that I had been working enough to establish we'd be okay, and my family opened up our house to their entire family. So now we have 8 people in our house that we all just we're able to take care of each other. So it's amazing.
Wow. So the way I look at this is it's not just the miracle of staff at Focus for Work. You're a miracle in that you've gotten a terrific job, and with that job, you're also opening up your home to another family, that you're creating a whole sense of community and belonging and connectedness. And that, as we think about our society and community, that's what it's all about. That you're paying it forward, but you're doing it just because that's who you are. Which is terrific. That's a wonderful miracle that you're creating just on your own. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you guys, because without Catholic Charities and still what they do to this day for me, I wouldn't know where I'd be today. Wow. So I thank Catholic Charities for Focus for Work, for their counselors. My family is even stronger to this day because of you guys. So.
That's terrific. As I think about that, what I call a partnership between Catholic Charities and the clients that we help find employment. I always say that you do the heavy lifting, and our job is to walk with you on your journey to success. And it's all about your self-reliance, but it's also about forming community, which you're doing that naturally. If you had any advice to give to someone who's in your situation, who before you came to Catholic Charities, what advice would you give them about how to find work and how to find help?
Don't give up. For sure, don't give up. It's out there. There is jobs out there, and it doesn't matter who you are. And if you need help, speak up. That was the one thing I never did. And to speak up when they said, is there anyone here that needs help? I rose my hand. I was shy and nervous, but you know what? It's the best thing I have ever done for my life. And I thank you guys so much for that, because now I'm able to do everything I'm able to do. I can take my daughter on vacation, which she's never gotten to do, and so it's amazing.
Wow. So the power of work, the power of a job, but also your own confidence, your self-esteem, your commitment to your daughter and your family, to your friend and neighbor who needed a place to stay, and a whole family. I mean, that's what we're about at Catholic Charities. So you're a miracle for us. You're the inspiration of changing lives for good. So it's not just about Catholic Charities changing lives for good. You're changing lives for good. So I just want to say thank you so much for changing lives for good, Bobbie Jean.
Thank
you. As I look at the work of Catholic Charities and the work of employment, and we see the need of so many people to find jobs, to find help, they're working so hard just to find work. And here we have with us today 2 amazing women working together, making that success as we focus for work here at Catholic Charities. So any final words, Eila or Bobbie Jean, about what we think we can do, as you look to the future? What are the possibilities that you see, both for yourselves and for others in our community who are looking for work?
Mostly, I think it would be great if when the stigma of mental health decreases, where we see our people that we are working with alongside who might be dealing with a disability that they've not shared, but are also, part of the workforce, part of the community. That is my goal, my vision, to that it become less stigmatized and accepted.
And what would you recommend for employers?
For employers to give opportunities. If there are any opportunities that we at Catholic Charities can help meet their needs for employees that they would like, that are dedicated, motivated, and reliable, come to us. We have the workforce for you.
Right. Bobbie Jean, thoughts that you have?
I agree completely. There are so many people that I got to be alongside with class that were just amazing, and you wouldn't even believe it. And they don't give up, and that's the difference about somebody with the mental health. We will not give up. We're going to keep going, and I hope employers see that and reach out. There's so many benefits they can get from somebody with a mental health that they don't realize. Like she was saying, 1 in 5 people, and you would never know.
Right.
I mean, so it's amazing.
So thank you, Bobbie Jean. Thank you, Eila. The message I get from this, as you change lives for good, is never give up. So
That's right.
this has been Change Lives for Good with Greg Kepferle, your host, and with Eila Latif and Bobbie Jean Rancourt with Focus for Work. Remember to speak up, reach out, and change lives for good.